Hey there. So, here's something interesting. Did you know Johnny Depp once said that the deepest wounds heal through love more than fame ever could? Sounds poetic, right? Almost like something out of a romance novel. But it's actually something he's expressed in his reflections about life and love. If you've clicked on this video, chances are, you're someone who loves to peek behind the curtain, not just at the glitz and glamour, but at the real, human side of celebrities. The part that feels familiar, maybe even relatable. Because, let's be honest, we've all loved, lost, and learned something from it. Today, we're going on a little journey together. We're diving deep into Johnny Depp's story of love, not the headlines, not the gossip, but the heart of it all. His reflections, his heartbreaks, his growth. The things he's learned along the way. By the end of this video, you might see love, and maybe even yourself, a little differently. So grab your coffee, sit back, and let's dive into Johnny Depp's deep dive into love. Now, to make this simple, let's walk through his journey step by step, like little snapshots of his emotional life. Let's start at the very beginning. In his early years, Johnny had this old school, almost poetic view of love. He talked about it like it was something mysterious, something bigger than us. For him, love wasn't just passion or attraction, it was faith. It was belief. In one of his older interviews, he described love as something you build, not something that just happens overnight. And honestly, that says a lot. Because many of us grow up thinking love just finds us, that it's supposed to be magic all the time. But Johnny saw it as something you nurture, something you protect. People often assume celebrities don't believe in real love. They think fame somehow makes them immune to heartbreak or to the ups and downs of relationships. But Johnny's words and actions show that's not true. He's always been a believer in genuine connection, the kind that's raw and imperfect. Now, as his career exploded, so did his love life. You can't talk about Johnny Depp without mentioning the iconic relationships that defined parts of his life, and, honestly, parts of pop culture. First, there was Winona Ryder. Young love. Passionate, spontaneous, and maybe a little reckless. Johnny was so in love that he famously tattooed Winona Forever on his arm. Yeah, that's the kind of thing you do when you're head over heels, all in, no hesitation. But when that relationship ended, it became Winona Forever. It's funny, in a bittersweet way. Because it captures exactly what that love represented, a moment in time, full of intensity, youth, and maybe a touch of naivety. Then came Vanessa Paradis. This was a different chapter entirely. More grounded, more mature. With Vanessa, Johnny seemed to find something deeper, a long-term partnership, a family, a sense of home. Their relationship wasn't just about passion, it was about companionship. Two people growing together, raising kids, building a quiet, steady life away from Hollywood chaos. When you look at these two relationships side by side, you can actually see the evolution. With Winona, love was a flame, bright, wild, and consuming. With Vanessa, love became a steady light, calm, enduring, and real. And that's something many of us can relate to, right? When you're young, love feels like fire. When you grow older, it feels more like warmth. It doesn't always burn, but it keeps you safe. But love isn't always easy. And for Johnny Depp, that became painfully true. Being one of the most famous actors in the world means your private life is never really private. Every heartbreak, every mistake, every emotional breakdown, it's all on display for everyone to see. Imagine that for a second. You're going through something deeply personal, maybe even heartbreaking, and millions of people are watching, judging, analyzing every word, every expression. That kind of spotlight can change how you see love. It can even change how you see yourself. For Johnny, this period of his life was full of pain and self-discovery. He had to take a step back, to ask himself, who am I, when I'm not someone's partner? Who am I, when I strip away the roles, the fame, and the public opinion? He's hinted at this a few times, that his biggest lessons in love came from solitude. From the moments where he had to face himself. The good, the bad, and everything in between. And that's something most of us learn the hard way too, right? Sometimes, you only understand love when it's gone. Sometimes, heartbreak teaches you more about yourself than being in love ever could. Now, people often have questions about him, things like, was Johnny Depp afraid of commitment, or did he fall in love too easily? But looking at his journey, it doesn't seem like he was afraid of commitment at all. If anything, he dove in too deeply, too quickly. The truth is, commitment isn't just about staying, it's about growing. And growth is messy. It's uncomfortable. Sometimes it hurts. But that's how we evolve, and Johnny seems to have lived through that evolution very publicly. There's also this common idea that love is all about chemistry, that spark, that instant connection. And sure, chemistry is amazing, but it's not enough to keep you together when life gets hard. Chemistry gets you started. But understanding, patience, and forgiveness keep you going. And that's something Johnny's experiences seem to reflect. So, after all the highs and lows, the tattoos, the heartbreak, the family life, and the self-reflection, what did he actually learn? This is the most interesting part of his story. Because what emerged from all of it wasn't bitterness. It was understanding. Over time, Johnny's words about love became softer, wiser. He started talking more about humility, about acceptance, about kindness, not just toward others, but toward himself. He said that pain can be a teacher. That sometimes, the hardest experiences are the ones that shape you the most. He's learned that letting go can be an act of love, not weakness. He's also come to see healing as a slow, patient process. You can't rush it. You can't fill the gaps with fame or new relationships. Healing takes time, and it takes honesty. And that's something so universal. Because when you've been through heartbreak, you realize, love isn't about perfection. It's about being real. It's about showing up, scars and all, and saying, I'm still here. I still believe. Now, where does that leave him today? We don't really know the full picture of Johnny Depp's current love life, and honestly, we don't need to. What matters more is what he's learned from it all. And that's where his story gets really inspiring. He's reached a place where authenticity means more than image. He's not chasing perfection anymore, he's seeking truth. He values connection, the kind that feels real, not rehearsed. He's also learned that vulnerability isn't a weakness. In fact, it's what makes love strong. It's the courage to say, I'm not perfect, but I'm trying. And above all, he's come to understand that love isn't something that just happens once. It's a lifelong process. You grow, you fail, you learn, you love again. And through it all, you become a little softer, a little wiser. For us, there's a lot to take away from his journey. Because no matter who you are, famous or not, love is complicated. It's messy, it's beautiful, and it's deeply human. And maybe that's the real message here, heartbreak doesn't disqualify you from love. It deepens your capacity for it. Now, before we wrap up, I want to share a few reflections, little pro tips, inspired by everything we've just talked about. Think of them as gentle reminders for your own relationships. First, try journaling your emotional compass. This is simple. Every day, write one sentence that starts with, today, love felt like. It could be, love felt like patience, or love felt like confusion, or love felt like peace. Over time, you start to notice patterns. You begin to understand how you relate to love, not just who you love. Second, use reflection instead of reaction. When something upsets you in a relationship, take a pause before responding. Wait 10 minutes. Breathe. Think. Most of the time, that pause changes everything. You move from emotion to understanding. And understanding builds bridges, not walls. Third, embrace vulnerability. I know, it sounds scary. But relationships grow when you share the hard stuff, your fears, your doubts, your insecurities. It's not weakness, it's honesty. It's what turns connection into closeness. Fourth, remember that love won't fix you. It might heal parts of you, sure, but the real work, the deep healing, that's your responsibility. No partner can do that for you. You bring your own light and your own shadows into a relationship. You have to know them both. And fifth, never underestimate the power of small gestures. The grand moments are beautiful, the flowers, the surprises, the tattoos. But it's the quiet things that last. A shared silence. A handwritten note. A consistent presence. Those are the things that build trust. And let's be honest, they're way more sustainable than tattooing someone's name across your arm. So, after everything we've explored, I want to leave you with one question. What's one thing you've learned about love, maybe from someone else's story, maybe from your own, that completely changed how you see relationships? I'd love to hear your thoughts. Drop your answer in the comments below. Let's make this a conversation, not just a video. And hey, if this reflection resonated with you, if it made you think, or feel, or even smile, give this video a like. Subscribe to the channel for more heart-to-heart stories like this. And don't forget to tap that little notification bell so you don't miss our next deep dive. If you want to keep this emotional wave going, check out my other video, Celebrities and Vulnerability, When Fame Meets the Heart. It's a perfect follow-up to this one, you'll love it. Thanks so much for spending your time here with me. It means a lot that you chose to listen, reflect, and feel along with me today. Love is complicated, but that's what makes it beautiful. No matter what your story looks like, whether it's peaceful, passionate, or painful, just remember, it's yours. And that makes it worth telling. I'll see you in the next one. Take care, be kind to your heart, and keep believing in love.